Tomorrow night, Friday the 18th at 8 p.m., RSU TV will broadcast a documentary about the changing circumstances in the small country of Myanmar. Controlled by a military junta, the nation has long been isolated as an international state. But a flicker of hope for many Burmese has been one person who spent decades defying military leaders in her quest for democracy. And now, the generals have started to implement a series of democratic and economic reforms, which the United States and other powers have welcomed. Let's take a look at a portion of the generals and the Democrat Myanmar in transition.
The long-isolated nation of Burma is shifting toward democracy, a move encouraged by President Obama's visit to the country in late 2012. But how can the U.S. ensure that this emerging South Asian state becomes friend, not foe?
It's really a remarkable story, Burma, of the past year and a half. Maybe the most positive development we've seen globally, really.
This is not a revolution of the people. It's a transformation of a regime, self-motivated to transform.
There have been a number of things that the regime has done that have been very surprising. One was letting Aung San Suu Kyi out of house arrest.
The problem may be the expectations of the people now are too high.
The military is a major wild card in this.
The generals and the Democrat. Burma in transition.
Now don't forget, the generals and the Democrat airs tomorrow night at 8 p.m. on RSU TV, channel 35. Joining me now is a local pastor from there. This is Pastor Kam Kai.
That's right.
With the Christian Church in Tulsa. Gentlemen, my friend, it's good to have you here. You visited this country, have you not?
Yes.
How unsettling was it for you to be there?
Yeah, I went to Myanmar this year, 2 times this year. And the situations are pretty much very good toward to democrat.
Really?
Yes.
So then there is that feeling of change that's underway.
Exactly, yes.
You pastor a church here.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, I've been here it's about almost 20 years. And working with Victory Christian Center here in Tulsa. Supporting by Pastor Billy Joe and Sharon.
We have a number of Burmese people here, do we not?
Yes, sir.
I think that may come as a surprise to our viewers. Is it a large population?
Here in Tulsa, it's almost about 5,000 Burmese population.
I did not know that.
Yes. In the whole Oklahoma, maybe I think it's 6,000, around 6,000 refugees in Oklahoma.
So they've managed to come here, I would assume, to get out from under the junta's control.
Yes, sir.
And seek out religious freedom, among other things.
That's right.
The beauty of change there was brought about by one woman, it seems to me. And what is her name?
Suu Kyi, Aung San Suu Kyi.
She's fought an incredible battle by herself. I mean, she stood up to generals in a junta.
Yes.
These guys they're not, we're not talking Disneyland. These guys will shoot you.
No. Yeah, about 20 years under house arrest.
My Lord.
Yes.
Have you met her?
I tried to meet her last year, but I didn't get a chance to meet her. Yeah.
Okay, is her health good?
Yes, she's stable.
How can one woman behind closed doors, essentially a prisoner of the state,
right,
enact such change? How did that happen?
I believe that this is the way that she willing to see the future of Burma, Myanmar.
Clearly, our State Department and our administration in Washington would like to see that change. Is the hope on her part for eventual junta-free elections?
Yes, it is a free election. So everybody can participate and they can cast their votes freely. Maybe some part of the country, they might have some problem, but mostly they get vote.
Is there any chance, you've been there twice,
That's right, in this year.
certainly you've been in communication with folks there, is there any possibility that the junta may relinquish control to elected leaders who are not puppets of the junta?
I don't know this one because until they hand over the power. So it can happen.
But she's led an incredible fight. I mean, she has to be a candidate for sainthood.
That's right. The previous one also is just like that too.
Really?
Yeah, and but we hope that this transition will be smooth.
Well, let's look ahead just a little bit. The folk here, the Burmese people here, must be keeping a very careful eye on what's happening to their former country.
Yes.
And they must be fully aware that the State Department of the United States government is also watching it. And with the visit of the President of the United States there, the generals must know that they're being watched. Would that not promote conditions to be ripe for them to make some sort of major shift?
My point of view is that will make a big change for our transition and support our transition toward democracy.
But it's going to take more time, isn't it?
Yes.
Speaking of which, we're out of time. And I want to thank you for coming in and visiting with us. And I hope you won't miss this documentary.
Thank you.
Hope you have a chance to see it. Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you very much.
That's all the time we have for this edition of Perspectives. Thank you now for joining us, and we'll see you next time.